So this guy right here might just look like a slightly chunky case for your iPhone 15 Pro Max, but Tilta is actually pushing this as part of a larger ecosystem of products that it claims can let you truly shoot cinematic video on your iPhone. It's called the Tilta Khronos, and this whole claim that a product can help you shoot cinematic video on your iPhone is not new. There have been tons of products and accessories in the past that have all, to some degree at least, allowed you to use your iPhone in situations where you would normally be using a high-end cinema camera. But in the past, there's usually been some pretty major compromises to this, because it's one thing to get nice-looking video out of your iPhone, but it's another thing to actually integrate the iPhone into a professional production environment and also get an image that you can manipulate and grade in post. But the specific combination of the iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max, Tilta Khronos ecosystem, and in our case the free Blackmagic camera app will collectively allow you to, and let me see if I can rattle these all off, shoot in ProRes 422 in a real log format, power the phone and all attached accessories, keep the phone recording indefinitely by keeping it cool, wirelessly be able to manually pull focus, and also get a clean HDMI feed out to monitor your video all at once. But it is one thing to hear all this in theory, so we decided to put it in practice and shoot a real music video shoot using the Tilta Khronos ecosystem to see if this can really, as Tilta claims, usher in the next generation of mobile filmmaking. All right, so there's a lot to talk about with the Tilta Khronos ecosystem, and I mean that in every context. What you are seeing here is just a fraction of the available accessories that Tilta gives you, but there is a laundry list. Maybe I'll have it scroll here, I don't know. But Tilta is giving you every option available. They are not half-assing this ecosystem. They are giving you every available way to use your phone in every type of professional setup. But to get started, we gotta start with the camera that we're using itself, which is on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Now, the iPhone has been able to shoot ProRes for a few generations now, at least the Pro versions, but what the 15 Pro and Pro Max added is the ability to also record in a log format and be able to have a fast USB-C connector with 10 gigabit speeds to offload that video very quickly. This truly unlocks the full potential of the excellent cameras you're getting in your iPhone. But this lets you shoot in a nice codec, and it lets you get a nice looking image, but that's only half the battle when you're actually trying to shoot real professional video. And the Tilta ecosystem is kind of what fills in that gap. So we're gonna start with the case, because I'm gonna show you a few different ways you can build this up, but everything starts with the case itself. Now, the case comes in two pieces, and you literally screw it on with these four little screws here. And once the case is on, you could basically just also use this as your daily walkabout case. It's got sort of like, I don't know, a brutalist look to it, but it's definitely durable. And in fact, Tilta actually gives you a nice little card holder that attaches through MagSafe that you can use as well. So this can just be your daily walk around case if you wanted to. Which is probably a good idea because, like I said, once you put this phone on, it's not going anywhere. You literally need a screwdriver to take it apart. But the case itself is more than just a sturdy, durable case. Not only does it let you mount all of the Tilta Khronos accessories through all these mounting points here, but it actually supplies power throughout the entire case itself to power these accessories. And the best way to showcase this is with this PD control handle that Tilta gives you in this kit. And they're gonna have other handles as well, but for the sake of demonstration and the sake of what they gave us, this is the best way to demo it. Now, what this handle does is you've got a lot of different connector options here. Like just at the top, record button, which once you pair your iPhone to this, you can do, which I'll showcase a little later. Headphone jack, USB-C power delivery in, because this has also got a 5500 milliamp battery inside it to power your phone and the accessories. So, what you can do is you can take this USB-C cable in here out and plug this into your iPhone. So once you have this handle connected, it's keeping the phone topped up on battery life, but it's also through this mounting point here, supplying power throughout the entire case, which will allow you to mount other Tilta Khronos accessories to your iPhone and keep them powered. Now, I know that there are going to be monitors and on-camera lights for these. We don't have those accessories, unfortunately, but we do have this guy, which is one of the coolest ones, and I guess pun intended. It's the cooling unit, which once you hook it on, it connects through this connector point there, and then it stays on magnetically through MagSafe. And this will keep your phone cool while you're recording. So what I can do is I can tap this once, and it will give me 1 speed, and you can kind of see through the blue light indicator up top. And then you can also up the fan speed by tapping it again, and it will indicate there as well. And then I can tap again to turn it off. But then you're also getting this other button here to power the phone. Now you may be saying, why do I need to be powering the phone if the handle is powering it as well? And this is what I really like about the ecosystem, because it seems like Tilta has very much considered the practical realities of a real production environment. You might not always want to be using a proprietary locked-in system for every single aspect of your video production, and there might be an instance where you want to be shooting with this, but you don't want this handle connected. It might be getting in the way. So what you can do is you could disconnect this, let's say, and so once I do this, there's now nothing powering this. So in theory, the fan wouldn't work. But Tilta very generously gives you a USB-C port at the bottom, which means you could, let's say you have your phone on a tripod with a ton of accessories hooked up, and maybe you have a V-mount battery chilling in the back. You could run a USB-C cable to this to power it, and it will power the fan and keep your phone cool. But not only that, because it's MagSafe, it'll also charge the phone for you as well, which is so convenient. It actually frees up this USB-C port to plug in an external SSD, let's say, if you want to be using the port for that instead of for power supply. So I really, really like that Tilta seems to have considered every aspect of this. But the handle does more than just power the accessories. There's actually some other reasons why you might want to be using this guy. So if we hook it back up again, what this handle will also do is, you may notice this little dial here. This is a control wheel, and it pairs with the Blackmagic app that, once again, you can download for free on your iPhone. And by the way, if you haven't downloaded the Blackmagic camera app, it's fantastic. Absolutely go for it. It gives you full manual control over your phone settings. Everything is very cleanly laid out, and it gives you a lot more control and power and flexibility over your final image if you're serious about recording on your iPhone. But what you can do is, the handle also is Bluetooth and can pair with the Blackmagic camera app. And once you pair it up, you can actually use this dial to control a lot of different settings when you're recording. The most useful one would probably be focus pulling. So you can manually pull your focus here by just sliding this dial back and forth. But once again, let's say you don't want to use this handle, but you still want to be able to manually pull focus. Well, that's where a non-Khronos, but still Tilta part of the ecosystem can come in. You could use the Tilta Nucleus Nano 2, and this can also pair to the Blackmagic camera app through Bluetooth and allow you to wirelessly pull focus. So you could have a focus puller 10 feet behind you, and they'd be able to use this. Now, you could mount this to any NATO compatible mounting point that will work as well. But fortunately, Tilta gives you one as well using this handle here. So I'm gonna mount this real quick. So this can also just be a handle to more easily hold your phone while you're recording, but then you could also mount it directly onto your phone itself if you want to manually pull focus. Through this ecosystem, even though all these mounting points are proprietary, Tilta still gives you a lot of flexibility and ways to use this with more professional gear, including just basic quarter 20 mounting points as well. So if I wanted to stick this on, I could then mount this onto a tripod and attach other accessories. Now this is all great, but everything I've shown you so far is more for a solo shooter. So if you were doing, let's say, run and gun event coverage, something like this is great if you want more manual control over your final image. But let's say you want to actually integrate this into a more professional production environment where you want to do all those other things that I teased earlier, like record to an external SSD, get a clean HDMI feed out, mount it to a gimbal or a tripod or a shoulder rig. To showcase some of the more professional applications for this, let's go to the music video shoot that we did with this. So to showcase what you can do with the Tilta Khronos system, we're here shooting a real music video using only this iPhone 15 Pro Max and the Tilta Khronos accessories that Tilta very generously gave to us. Now, if you can't tell already, just visually looking at this, and I mean this in the most affectionate way possible, monstrosity. This thing is, it almost seems like Tilta is daring you to say that you can't shoot professional cinematic quality video on your iPhone, because just the accessories that you were seeing here are allowing you to really circumvent a lot of what has limited you in the past to shoot real video on your iPhone. So what we have is the iPhone 15 Pro Max setup in the Cronos case for it, and then the kind of central piece to get every accessory that you were seeing here all hooked up is this hub. So you get USB-C into the iPhone, and because it's USB 3.2 speeds, we were able to do this. Through this, we are able to then run power through this V-mount battery we have hooked up, which goes in here and then is powering the phone. So that's your power for your phone. That keeps you topped up while you're shooting. But then on top of that, We also have USB running out into this SSD, which we are recording our ProRes 422 to, because what you can do in the Blackmagic camera app, which is what we're using to shoot all of this, you can record directly to an external SSD, or you can record internally on your iPhone, which is more convenient, but if you don't want to shell out for a terabyte of storage internally on your phone, you can record right to the SSD. And then the really cool thing is you then also get HDMI out. So we have that running to our Atomos Ninja, which we also are powering through the V-mount battery, but we're able to get a clean feed through the Blackmagic app and be able to monitor our video feed here. And if we wanted to get a wireless video system, we could do that as well. So we could have a Video Village set up even if we wanted to, and be able to monitor what the director of photography is seeing on their phone. And all of what I just described is pretty professional sounding to me in terms of what you would expect to get out of a device you're shooting cinematic video with. Now, there are still some limitations even with this that you should be aware of. Obviously, the biggest one is when adjusting exposure on the iPhone, you can't change your aperture. That f-stop is fixed. And if you want to keep your shutter speed at 180 degrees and maintain that, you're not really gonna be able to adjust that to change the light so much. So you can adjust the ISO, which we've been having some luck with so far. You can obviously adjust your lights as long as you have control of them. But what's also really cool is Tilta is giving you the option to put ND filters or other types of diffusion directly on the phone itself. And it's a very nice system. You just slide it in here and it sits magnetically there, and then you've got your ND filter there, and you can very easily pop it off again. So those are the concessions that even with this ecosystem, you're just gonna have to deal with when shooting on a phone. But the advantages you get is that you can use this phone in places you could not normally use a cinema camera, even like a portable mirrorless camera. We just recently were shooting our talent, and we were able to put the iPhone 15 Pro Max onto the guitar fretboard itself and shoot down it. Now you could maybe do this with like action cameras or things like that in the past, but the fact you're doing it while shooting in ProRes 422 is kind of a first time you could do something like that. All of this is extremely helpful because it also makes this a very, not even just run and gun, which it is, but it's very easy to set up this rig. So if you had a cinema camera or even just a high-end mirrorless camera, it would take a lot longer to set up. But something like this is really great because let's say you work for B&H and you are supposed to be showing off Tilta products in a music video shoot, but you get stuck in traffic and you're delayed an hour, which cuts into your time to do these setups. If you were doing a cinema camera in this very hypothetical situation, you would already be losing half your day just before you even get there. But this is so lightweight and so easy to shoot on that we've been able to make our time really well. And in fact, if we wanted to set this up on a gimbal, let's say, literally you just unplug these guys here, and then, bada bing, bada boom, you are good. The only other thing is this guy here. This is just powering the fan to keep the phone cool while you're shooting it. So what we're gonna do now is do some more of the story bits for this music video that we've been working on. We're gonna set this up on our tripod and our slider and get some other shots, and we're gonna see how it all looks.
That window's been broken for years. The wind is singing, but only it's your voice I hear. A ghost in my ear. You can't keep out the chill.
So I'm here with our musician Ian Brodsky, and it occurred to me that if you liked what you were seeing in the behind the scenes for the video we're shooting and you wanted to know more about our artist, you probably should know this. So Ian, the song that we're shooting right now is not out yet, is that correct?
That is correct.
I feel like a news reporter. But if people want to see that finished music video and hear that song, where can they find you?
You can find me at iBrodsky on all of the social media, so not Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, pretty much anywhere you get social media, you know, find me at iBrodsky, and probably on YouTube as well.
And when is the album coming out? September, you said?
To be determined.
TBD. But you know, why not follow Ian Brodsky while you're at it, and you will be the first to know when this song comes out. So once again, if you like what you saw, check it out later.
Thank you.
So after wrapping the shoot and taking a look at the footage, once we got back to our studio, we were impressed. I have never shot an Apple log or graded it, but it behaved and graded just like any standard log format that you would expect. And kind of like I said on site, the fact that the iPhone was so easy to rig up in different shooting situations let us get through our day so much faster. Like, this would have been not doable as a shooting the performance and shooting the story aspects of it if we were shooting on a camera we had to fully rig up. The iPhone was so lightweight, so easy to put on a gimbal, so easy to stick in different places that we couldn't do with larger cameras, that we were able to get a lot of coverage in a very short period of time. So at the end of the day, is this for burgeoning content creators who are just getting started, or is it for seasoned video professionals? And the answer is yes. If you're just getting started and you already have an iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max, the Tilta ecosystem will allow you to fully maximize the potential of that camera. And if you're a professional and you already have your camera and all of your gear, the Tilta Khronos can turn your iPhone into an excellent B or C cam, because once again, you can put it in places you could not put your normal camera, and the Apple log format will allow you to much more easily color match your footage in post. Using the Tilta Khronos was genuinely a lot of fun. It was just so cool to see what you could do when you actually had accessories that allowed you to get the most out of the camera that you have in your pocket anyway. And for a lot of shooters, I think it's genuinely worth looking into to see what you could shoot as well. But I'm sure you all have very hot takes on this whole Tilta Khronos ecosystem, so let us know in the comments below what you think. And until next time, I am Nick with B&H. Stay creative.